All right, we got another round of exponents coming at you right now. Got 4 examples to help you out with these problems. So when you go to take down this first one, I'm kind of with you. Like right off the bat, I see, 0 power. I like 0 power. So I'm going to leave all that the same, but 0 power inside parentheses, like, that's just 1. So it's gone. It is not around anymore. And now we're looking at this problem. You're like, oh, I've got a 10, I've got a -8, here's my 2 x's. This doesn't have a power. I'll just make it x to the first. So we can do our numbers together. We can do 10 times -8. We can do the 2 x's. So we can do 10 times -8. We can do x to the third, x to the first. We've got a -80. We've got x to the fourth. All right, 1 down, 3 to go. Number 2. Okay, so when you look at this problem, you're getting ready to jump on it. It's like, all right, I've got a 30 and a 6. I've got some numbers to put together. I have some parentheses to deal with, definitely negatives to deal with. I'm thinking right off the bat, I'm going to take care of that. So here is 30, x -4, -2 times -7, +14, 6, x to the 8th. I've got one other that is a negative. So I have this x to the -4 right here. I'm going to grab him and move him down. All right, let's do this. So for just my numbers, I've got 30 and 6. That's going to divide nice and neat. I've got an x to the 14th up top. This was -4. I'm going to move it down and make it +4. So I've got my numbers to deal with. I've got my x's to deal with. 30 divided by 6. That's just 5. I like that. Here's x to the 14th and x to the 12th. Got top, bottom. You got 14 minus 12. You got 2 x's left over. So it looks like everything's good. You got a 5 up top. You got the 2 x's left over up top. You got 5x squared. All right. Work the numbers, work the negative signs, work your x's, put it all together. 2 down, 2 to go. All right, number 3. Got some big fractions coming at you on this third one. Oh, we have a negative exponent out there. I'm going to show you guys a trick that you probably know. All right, think about this. You've got first power, fifth power. So that 3 is going to get everything. So you're going to end up with 4 to the third, x to the third, y to the 5 times 3. So 5 times 3, 15. Boom. So there's my first one, all looking good. Now, this is a negative. Like, I know how to make that into a positive. I can just take my base, if it's a fraction, and just reciprocate it, flip it, spin it. So y to the -3 on bottom means y to the -3 on top. 5x to the 6 from top, that becomes bottom. So to get rid of this negative sign right there, you take the reciprocal of the base, boom, you've got this. Now I'm going to do some serious, very serious organizing. I like my numbers and I like my letters in order. So across the top, I've got 4 to the third, x to the third, y to the -3. Numbers, x's, y's. So that's my numbers and my x's and my y's in order. So get organized. And then across the bottom, you've got a number, you've got an x, and you got a y. So you got a 5, an x to the 6th, and a y to the 15th. So you get everything organized. I've got my numbers together, x's together, y's together. Makes everything so nice. I have this that I'm going to move down as a negative exponent. Let's go. So I've got 4 to the 3rd, there's a 5, x3, x6. So now what I've got is 3 little bitty math problems. I can take 4 to the 3rd over 5, that's 64 over 5. Well, that's not going anywhere. My x's, I've got top, bottom. I can do a little bit of math right here. So that's going to give me 3 x's left over. And then I've got side by side, I can add those. That's going to give me y to the 18th. And now that I'm done with this, I'm going to put it all together, make it look good. So I've got a 64 on top, a 5, x to the 3rd, y to the 18th. So we scoosh it all back together to make it look good. All right, 3 examples done. We got one more. All right, last one. Number 4. Got plenty of negative signs in this. So 7, negative 1, x to the 5th, x2, negative 1, 7 squared, x negative 2. All right, guys, so you've got 7s and you got x's. You got negative exponents, you got positive exponents. I'm thinking right off the bat, I'm going to grab that one, get rid of those parentheses. And I went ahead and got my 7s lined up to go to work on them. Here's x to the 5th. Here's x negative 2. Here's x negative 2. Ooh, those are going to cancel. If you don't want to cancel it right now, you can always do this. You're like, oh, those are both negatives. I can move this one up and I can move this one down, and that can make them positives. Same thing for this. He's a negative, it can move down. So I love doing that. Anything that's a negative exponent, I make it into a positive exponent. It makes my life so much better. So if it's up top and I move it down, that changes its sign. If it was negative and I move it down, that makes it positive. Same thing on my x to the 5th. He's not going anywhere, but these two guys switch. Now we're looking pretty good. All right, so you got some math problems you got to do. Here's the nice thing. X squared and x squared just cancel out. So we're left with an x to the 5th over 7 to the 3rd. You're like, wait a minute. I can pull off 7 to the 3rd. That's like 343. So here's x to the 5th over 343. I even put a red box around that one. All right, guys. Lots of negative signs, lots of exponents, lots of fractions. Be careful, be organized.